I'll say that shooting was justified. I don't see how. I mean, I thought he was actually standing right next to the air conditioning unit. Hell, that was significant distance between him and the unit.
And thoughts and prayers to the families. And I was waiting for the video. I thought he was going to get close to the air conditioning unit. I was waiting for that to happen.
Right.
And but they know they can say whatever they need to say in their report. And if they know they have a cooperative DA, they can say whatever they're going to say, and they're going to be covered. And that's the bottom line. And it's unfortunate that it continues to happen, and it's going to continue to happen.
On the
Eugene?
It's crazy. You know, cops are still lying about, you know, what's on video. You know, but the issue is that you got to have a DA that's willing to pursue the charges that are necessary. And we have a situation like this. I'm now a proponent of recall elections. This DA, you know, needs to be recalled and need a new DA installed.
All right, folks, going to a break right now. We come back. We're going to talk about a couple of white folks. One white guy in Florida, one white woman in Maryland. Don't have a job today because, you know what, they stupid as hell on social media. Then, of course, we'll also talk about hashtag the flying preacher. Of course, have y'all seen this video right here? This is the video of the preacher in Mississippi, of course, who used a harness to, in essence, fly to his pulpit. Oh, these people lost their mind on social media. They were trashing him, trashing the church. In fact, they were trashing all black churches in America as a result of Pastor Orr doing this. We got the video, if y'all can play it, please. And so we're going to be talking, so this is the video. We're going to be talking to this pastor in just a moment right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered to explain why he did it and also his thoughts on the reaction. Got millions of views. So all of that next. Roland Martin Unfiltered. Back in a moment. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. All right, folks. Today, Utah Congresswoman Mia Love, she conceded her congressional race. It had been in doubt as they kept counting the ballots. And in her 11-minute statement, she had a couple of things to say about the orange one, as well as the Republican Party and minority voters. Press play.
I am proud of the fact that I nagged the president every day to bring Joshua Holt home. He is an American, and all Americans should know that their country and their representatives will not forget or abandon them. Now, when President Trump took a jab at me because he thought that the race was over, and he lamented that I wouldn't ask him to come to the state of Utah, I was somewhat surprised at first. But with every decision I make, I have to ask myself again, at what cost? The president's behavior towards me made me wonder, what did he have to gain by saying such a thing about a fellow Republican? It was not really about asking him to do more, was it? Or was it something else? Well, Mr. President, we'll have to chat about that. However, this gave me a clear vision of his world as it is. No real relationships, just convenient transactions. That is an insufficient way to implement sincere service and policy. This election experience and these comments shines a spotlight on the problems Washington politicians have with minorities and Black Americans. It's transactional. It's not personal. You see, we feel like politicians claim they know what's best for us from a safe distance. Yet they're never willing to take us home. Because Republicans never take minority communities into their home and citizens into their homes and into their hearts, they stay with Democrats and bureaucrats in Washington because they do take them home, or at least make them feel like they have a home. I've seen the cost to conservatives for not truly taking people into their hearts. Democrats saw newly elected Black members and women to Congress in this election. This is a matter of fact that Republicans lost in this regard. However, minority communities need to ask themselves a question also. At what cost? What is the cost of staying with the Democrat Party that perpetually delivers exactly what you need to stay exactly where you are. To make poverty tolerable instead of temporary. People who judge their success by how many people they can put into poverty programs versus how many people they can get out of them. I am a Republican. I know conservative policies work. They lift everyone. They lift the poor, the young, the vulnerable, the black and the white. Our conservative policies save our young and unborn children. When the pundits tell us that we're out of luck, the deck is stacked against us, we say no, no way, not in this country. Because under conservative policies, the deck is not stacked against us, and we all have a chance. Conservative policies make it so that no one in this country is predestined to be poor. I know because I've lived them. I've put them into action. I've promoted them throughout our state and across the country. The problem is not the policy. It is that we are never taken into hearts and into homes.
All right, Eugene Craig, I want to go to you. You're a Republican on our panel today. Did Mia Love just realize because she lost the Republicans have not been reaching out to black and other people of color?
No, that's complete bullshit. She just spent the last 4 years not reaching out to people of color herself and has spent many times just running from people of color. She ran from being branded as a quote-unquote black Republican. So as I said earlier today on Twitter, I said this is a very rich time for Mia to redefine and rediscover her blackness, and then to discover that this president may just not like black people. But it's an interesting hot take. I mean, I think it's for her to go and come out swinging the way she did, as to tend to be the trend when people lose re-election and now quote unquote free to say what they really think. I mean, it's crazy. I think it's baffling. I mean, if Mia was on the show right now, I asked her, hey, what was the last black Republican candidate you supported? When was the last time you stepped into a black community and their hand out and actually listen to what black communities wanted? You cannot come in and take a swipe at the party for doing the same exact thing that you did and then take a swipe at black people for not wanting to engage the party. That's bullshit.
And she doesn't represent black people, so for her that is a very complicated question. She represents, a district in Utah.
Right.
But even
a
more,
district in Utah. She's a woman of Haitian descent. Mm-hmm. But again, to stand up there and to blast the party,
right.
You're blasting Trump, and then I was confused because on one hand she says Republicans, it's been transactional, it's not relational. But then she said, well, black people have got to ask themselves, why they were Democrats. Well, you just answered the question. See, I don't understand why this is so hard for black Republicans. If you ignore black people,
right,
it's obvious I'm only going to get attention from the person who's not ignoring me.
Yeah, but the problem with this is that the reason that she's special within the Republican Party is because she's a rarity. She's a black Republican. She knows that that's what made her special. Her and Tim Scott know that that's what makes them special and gets them attention and gets them somehow positioned at every press conference right over the shoulder of the speaker. They know that. What's so weird about this, I'm sure Eugene knows this as well, is that she just spent the last 2 years avoiding criticizing Donald Trump. She didn't show up at the convention in Cleveland because she didn't want to get out there and actually speak her mind, so she said absolutely nothing, and Tim Scott did the same thing. They steadfastly avoid any conversation about race and Donald Trump because they know what this is and they don't want to actually have to speak it out loud. And now all of a sudden she finds herself. The minute she loses,
wait, I gotta read this. I gotta read this, Mike. Quote. I tweeted this. Y'all can pull it up. Quote. Now I'm unleashed, untethered, and unshackled, and I can say exactly what is on my mind.
But she could have done that in office.
I'm trying to figure out.
She could have done that in
I
office.
think she even had more authority to do it while in office.
Wait.
That's right.
She was asked at the news conference, while Michael responded to Eugene, she was asked at the news conference about that. She said, well, when you're an elected official, you kind of gotta be careful what you say.
No, you don't.
And I'm sitting there going, what the heck? Michael, go ahead.
I closed my eyes for a second. I was like, is that Jeff Flake? Is that Bob Corker? Because that's what they do. They have no courage when it's time to have courage, and then all of a sudden they have it. She actually probably could have gotten herself in a much stronger leadership position in the GOP if she spoke her mind, but she chose not to do that until today.
Well, actually,
I want to go ahead and somewhere pull this up here, if I can, because this is what bothered me as I listened to that. As I listened to that, it really bugged me. It really bugged me. Okay, and so let me go. Hold on.
She would have been in big trouble had she spoke her mind like that.
Well,
I mean,
no,
it's
but
interesting that she didn't do it.
But here's the deal. Just because you represent Utah still doesn't mean that you could not have said,
Right.
hey, Republican Party, talk to black people.
Of course she could have done that,
I want Eugene to respond to this, and then I'm going to go to Lauren. So go to my iPad, please. Here we go to my iPad. All right. This is what I tweeted. My team has been trying for 4 years to get Representative Mia Love to do a sit-down interview. She gave me her cell at last year's CBC swearing in, but never returned calls or texts. I would love to still do a one-on-one to discuss these and other issues on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Eugene, 4 years she's been there. We tried to get her on News One Now. No response. Never did. Will Hurd, Republican from Texas, came on. Now, maybe that's also because the Texas A&M Aggie, and so am I. But he came on. Congressman Bill Flores from Texas came on. Maybe that's because he's a Texas A&M graduate. I don't know. I am as well. But I had the Republican from Kansas who was real conservative. I can't remember his name.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
He came on the show.
Yeah.
The white guy from North Carolina who co-chaired the HBCU caucus.
Walker.
He came on the show.
Yeah.
But it's like the only black Republican woman. 4 years. That's right. Senator Tim Scott. We did a whole hour special. Senator Lindsey Graham came on the show. But Mia Love, for 4 years, Eugene, never came on the only show that reached black people, but now all of a sudden, I'm Angela Davis. Eugene, go ahead.
Listen, Roland, me and you probably both saw Mia the last time together. That was at the Trailblazer dinner, I believe, in maybe 2013, 2014, right after she was, maybe 15, right after she was elected. She's literally spent her time as a member of Congress running from being black, running from being the black Republican, and just being, the black Republican all the white Republicans like to like. I like to contrast her and Will Hurd all the time. Will Hurd, when the president was, started rolling out this whole border wall mess, was everywhere saying, listen, I'm a former CIA agent. I have literally the largest part of the border in my district. The wall is not going to help. I mean, he's time after time after time stood up, spoke out, used his voice as a member of Congress.
He tried to actually broker a DACA deal.
Yeah.
And went after Trump on intelligence issues, being a former CIA agent.
But see,
But can I take it a step further? Will Hurd has
Lauren.
been there for black Republicans when we needed him. I can't tell you a single black Republican Mia has supported.
yeah.
Lauren, go ahead.
The problem is that at the end of the day, if she does the interview with you, she has to answer the question of her standing as a black Republican, and for that matter, a black person, period, in the age of Donald Trump. That question has got to be confronted.
And she
right?
also has to confront when Donald Trump called the country you're from.
Right, but see,
The country your parents are from.
Well, she did come out.
A shithole country.
She did
no,
come
no,
out.
no, no.
And
she came
kick
out with
him
a
on that.
statement.
All right,
but she came out with a statement.
Right.
But it was a statement.
But see, the bigger problem, of course, is that when you are in this position as a black Republican, and you are arguing that, everything is colorblind and race doesn't matter.
But then you lose.
And then reality hits, and you're in a country with 400 years of racial history that matters. That's problematic. Like, you can't play the dance.
So
now she's out here.
Oh my God, I'm shackled. Here's the deal. This is very simple, okay? Mia Love, you should come on here. We can have a conversation. We can have a discussion of all these issues. For 4 years. 4 years we've been trying to get Mia Love to come on the show. For 4 years, y'all. That's been happening for 4 years. And let me also help y'all. Y'all think I'm lying. As a matter of fact, somebody from New York has called me. Hey, I got to call you back. Okay, so let me pull this up. I just want y'all to understand. Okay, I'm going to pull this up right now. I'm not going to show a number. September 23rd, 2017, I sent her a text. No response. November 20th, 2017, I sent her a text. No response. November 13th, I sent her a text. No response. Now, I hope she gave me the right number.
She gave you the right
But guess what? I handed her my phone.
But she...
No. I handed her my phone.
Ask yourself this
She
question.
typed the number in.
What interview has she ever done?
I'm just saying.
What interview has you ever seen her do?
I'm more than willing to have a conversation with her.
She's not going to have that conversation
Come
because
on.
that
She's just
conversation
dating
is at
Ian,
the
and I've
heart
seen her
of the
do a
problem of
couple
being a
other-
black Republican.
Here's the deal. Since she's unshackled, since she's unhinged, she can now talk black. You are more than welcome to come on the only daily digital show that talks to black people.
She played the game the way he wanted her to play it, and she still lost. So that means you should do things differently and say, let me buck the system. Maybe it'll work. Maybe
Right.
it should have won. Who
There you
knows?
go.
And he embarrassed her when he
And
could have
totally
actually said, she could have said something this entire time.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
there was
So-
nothing stopping her.
All right,
You know
y'all.
what?
All right, time for our HBCU, hashtag HBCU Giving Day School. It ain't hard to figure out. I'm wearing a damn sweatshirt. Go ahead and roll it. All right, y'all. So every Monday, of course, I wear HBCU gear. Universities I've actually spoken to or visited. And so today is Lincoln University, Chester County, Pennsylvania, founded in 1854. The first degree granting HBCU in the country. Notable graduates: Thurgood Marshall, Langston Hughes, Cap Calloway, Frederick D. Alexander, Roscoe Lee Brown, Melvin Tolson, but also Kwame Nkrumah. Many African leaders, when they came to the United States, were actually attendees at Lincoln University before they went back to Africa. And so to support Lincoln, go to www.lincoln.edu, lincoln.edu. And so I spoke there last year for the president when she had her swearing in. So that's why I got the sweater. So Lincoln, we appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. All right, y'all. Did y'all see this video? Roll it. Now, we thought we had seen everything.
When the sky is cracked and Jesus Christ comes again, and every eye will see him when he comes again. So here's our question for you this morning, brothers and sisters. The simple question is this right here: are you ready? Are you ready for his return? Amen. All right, amen. Are you ready for his return? Brothers and sisters, are you ready today for the return of the Lord Jesus Christ? Because he's on his way back. That is what James was dealing with there. And I appreciate
All right, y'all. That was Reverend Bartholomew Orr, senior pastor, Brown Missionary Baptist Church in South Haven, Mississippi. That video went viral when a woman, she is the daughter of a member. She actually shot that video and posted it. Man, it has gotten millions of views. Folks have been angry, upset, blasting him, blasting the church, blasting the entire black church. I was sitting here going back and forth with people yesterday on this whole video, and they were saying the church, they don't do a damn thing for the poor. They don't help people in their community. And I'm going, y'all don't even go there. And so then I get a phone call from one of my colleagues sent me a text and saying, hey, he had a friend of his who was a publicist who said there's a client who want to speak to me. I said, okay, fine. Have him send me an email. Well, it happened to be the publicist of Pastor Orr. And so I got the email, and she said he said he's been getting interview requests from everybody, but he only wanted to talk to me. And so now he's here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Pastor Orr, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you doing, Roland?
Glad to have you. All right, so let's start first off, okay? It's so many stuff I got to deal with. Okay, so the apparatus itself, people like, you wasted money. You didn't ask the members for permission. That was a complete waste of tithes. Can you explain the apparatus and why it was there at the church?
Every year we do this soulful Christmas production. It's a singing Christmas tree with drama attached to it. We've been doing it now for about 10 years. The last 4 of those years, we have had this flying apparatus in to where we fly in angels, fly in Gabriel. We flew in some drummers one year when we were talking about drumming. And so this has been something that's been used in our church for the last few years. And it just so happened that last week I was up there when they were going through their flying school. And I said, hey, I've never tried this. Let me try it. Tried it, made a video, just a comical video, because we're celebrating 136 years anniversary. Wanted to get people involved with Vision 2025. And so I said, y'all come to church, see the flying preacher this coming Sunday. But that's the flying joke, but support Vision 2025.
Okay, so you sent out a notice to your members.
Yes.
Come see the flying preacher, and you incorporated this apparatus, and you coming in your sermon.
Yes.
What was the name of the sermon?
The name of the sermon, Are You Ready for His Return? I'm preaching through the book of James. And so the apparatus was already in place, no dollars, tithe money or church money, because our Soulful Christmas is sponsored by different individuals and corporations that sponsor. This is a free event that we put on for the public.
Okay, so Pastor, so what do you make of all these folks just attacking you? I've seen it. This is unnecessary. I'm paying more attention to him flying in than the word. Now, first of all, you can actually see the whole sermon on YouTube. You had somebody who read the scripture. When you came in, this was the beginning of your sermon. And for the rest of the sermon until the end, you had the apparatus that you were still strapped in, but you were behind the pulpit for about 50 minutes.
Well, hopefully not that long. I know I'm a Baptist preacher. I try not to be too long. But yes, the message was going forth. One of the things that we've been promoting is digital discipleship. How can we use social media in order to get the word of Jesus Christ out? As a pastor, I've seen so many people as it relates to being unprepared, not ready, not only for the Lord's return, but even for unexpected death and sudden tragedies that happen. And so I'm preaching through the book of James, great opportunity to grab folks' attention to, let's say, hey, are you truly ready for his return? And by the way, Roland, I'm an object preacher. I've been pastoring this church for 30 years come January. They have seen everything, you name it, they have seen it.
So when you say that, I saw one video, you were dressed like a cop?
Yes, dressed like a cop. This year I preached on a ladder. It was stepping up your faith, step up in faith. And so I climbed the ladder all the way up to the very top and closed my sermon at the very top. My goodness, a couple of months ago, I even had on some wigs. So for people who go to your church, this is not unfamiliar to them. Right.
Now,
right.
But how do you deal with this reaction, though, from all the Christians, and I say the heathens, and the people who love attacking the black church, who start assuming all kind of stuff, attacking you, attacking your ministry, saying y'all do nothing for the poor, y'all stealing money, he probably drive a Ferrari or a Bentley. I mean, it was all this sort of stuff all on social media.
Well, first of all, let me just say this. We love and respect everybody and their views and so forth. Paul said in Philippians chapter 1 that if the gospel is being furthered, even if we have to take a tax, that's fine with us for the furtherance of the gospel. And the gospel has definitely been furthered. 8 million folks have at least heard the statement, Jesus is returning. Are you ready for his return? And so my people, also the church Brown, this church have grown over, it's 136 years. I've been there 30 years. The Lord have blessed us to grow from 66 to over 11,000. The church is known for the good that it does in the community as we share the gospel of Jesus Christ, but more importantly, as we spread even good deeds in the community. We tithe back into the community, our missions dollars and benevolence, over 10% of everything that comes into the church.
So when you hear, again, your critics who said this was a waste, you took the focus off the word, it should be on Jesus. Also, they said you should be preaching about Jesus in love. I mean, when you hear those criticisms solely based upon seeing the video, no context, no nuance, know nothing, then what do you say?
Well, somebody is going to go watch the whole video. Somebody wants to see it for themselves. And in that message, I deal with things like work while we wait. I deal with we ought to love as we live. I deal with even how we ought to endure suffering and talk about the divisiveness and even how we ought to use our words to be helpful and wholesome. So if they listen to the message, and like I said, I've been preaching through the whole book of James. This is all about everyday faith. How do we take our faith outside and beyond the walls of church? And so I'm just excited and glad that the gospel of Jesus Christ is going forth.
Just a couple more questions for you. Again, I was really going off on one particular person because they were really pissing me off. I'm just being straight up. I ain't got no problem saying that. God knows I'm going to cuss folks out. Now, look, my wife is ordained minister. She's been ordained going on 30 years. I have been in numerous churches, small, mid-sized, and large. I have seen preachers, men and women, use props and things along those lines. What really angered me the most was folks who saw this video. See, right there. That's what's wrong with the black church. The black church not doing. I say, whoa, stop. Y'all saw one video, and then just all of a sudden, every black church in America ain't nothing. Every black church in America not helping the poor. Every black church in America is still in ties. And I said, finally, I said, you know what? A bunch of y'all, you're going to find any excuse to deal with any church because you don't want to deal with your own issues when it comes to the church that you actually went to.
Yes. Well, and here's the good thing. Brown is doing all of those things. So we're in the community. We're feeding the hungry. We're clothing the naked. We are sheltering the homeless. We're being there for those that are caught in disaster. We are doing things locally, nationally, as well as international. So the gospel of Jesus Christ is going forth. Good deeds are going forth in the name of Christ. And if we need to use props, even as Jesus himself used, in order to grab folks' attention and get them to start thinking about their eternity, I believe it's all a good thing.
I got to ask you this here. You're in Mississippi. What are y'all doing to get the vote out for Mike Espy?
If they go to our website, we have a political action ministry. And so I am not one to endorse candidates, but I do very much have an open door policy to where we have a political action ministry that actually bring candidates in, forums in. Mike Espy actually visited and worshiped with us. We have been pushing voter registration as well as voter turnout. There is a video on our website of Miss Olivia Leggett, one of our members, who was the first African-American woman mayor in her particular town. She won that seat back in '77, defeating a white man by 10 votes. Well, she went on to be elected and serve in that position for 20 years. And so she is encouraging people that every vote count. And we have been constantly pushing that message. And again, we've been open to our members, informing them that it's coming up, and for everyone to go out.
I'm going to play this here. Y'all go ahead. Here, take my iPad, please.
I wanna be caught up to meet him in the air. So brown, stay prayed up so you can be caught up. Stay dressed up so that you can be caught up. Stay fixed up so that you can be caught up.
Now, Pastor, I got to ask, while you were suspended in air, you were sitting there punching your hand. At what point were you thinking, man, I sure hope this thing is sturdy? I'm moving a lot.
Hey, I'm glad Justin them had hooked me in securely. But, you know, it was a fun opportunity to be able to, one of the joys of pastoring, and I appreciate Brown, and it's such a loving, supportive church down through the years, seeing the vision, following along with the vision, seeing how God have used us to really advance the kingdom of God. So I appreciate them praying with me while I was up there in the air.
All right, then. Well, so again, so for all the folks who've been sitting there talking about the flying preacher. I even had one woman say, well, are members, are they allowed to use the apparatus? I was like, y'all lost. I said, y'all gonna really make me cuss y'all out on Twitter. So Pastor Orr, we appreciate it. Thank you for explaining. Go ahead.
If they want to see the apparatus in use December the 5th and the 7th, they can come. I think we're flying in. We might even fly in Jesus in the apparatus.
Well, are you selling tickets or is it free?
It's free, open to the public. And that's what I'm saying. Everything is free because we've had great sponsors who sponsor the for Christmas.
And for the rest of y'all who are confused, y'all can go to Brown Missionary Baptist Church YouTube channel to actually see the full sermon. Is right there. Brown Missionary Baptist Church. Go to their YouTube channel. You can see the full sermon, and y'all can stop making stuff up about what y'all heard and what they didn't do and all that sort of nonsense. And Pastor Orr, we surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
And Roland, thank you. All
right, have a good one. Real quick, I just got to get a quick comment from my panel. Mike, go ahead.
Look, all I know is nothing against my church. I'm a proud member of 19th Street Baptist. I can never imagine my pastor doing what he did, but more power to the pastor.
Lauren?
I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute thing. I mean, to get people to spike interest in the church, although the church seemed full, which it was full probably because of him. So I thought it was cute.
Eugene?
Next level preaching is needed for a next level generation.
Again, so let me go ahead and say this here, and so let me just break this thing down. To all y'all church haters out there, to all you church haters, let me just cut to the chase. Y'all always looking for an excuse to slam the black church, okay? I've heard all of the excuses. I've heard all the people say, this is why young folks not going. This is why people are not interested in the church. If you heard the video, the whole audience was cracking up laughing. They know they pastor. They know how he preaches. They know how he rolls. But see, all people talk about, well, that's taken away from the word. No, let's just stop it. You know doggone well, all of y'all not so holy. Because see, I recall a time where gospel people actually said the whinings. That's wrong. We can't have that kind of talk. We can't have that. We can't even have, see, a bunch of y'all go to churches right now where they got saxophones and trumpets and drum sets, and they got a whole musical section. I remember the day people said, oh, no, that's going against God having all that stuff in church. You always have these purists, but you really got haters. You got people who always want to hate on preachers, who want to hate on church. And the reality is there's a whole bunch of churches who are doing some good. There's some foul people in church. You know why? There's some foul people outside of church because crazy folk outside of church actually belong to church. Now, if you got a problem with this pastor flying in, that's your problem. You know why? You don't go to his church. You don't tithe. You don't put any offering. You ain't doing nothing to pay for their lights, to pay for their pews, pay for anything. And so I say, shut the hell up. Oh, I know. We're talking about church. And y'all probably mad that I'm cussing, but I don't really care because it grates on me when I see people who constantly condemn the black church when, if you really want to ask the question, the level of scholarships being given, the people who are helping folks in need, show me another institution in the black community that's doing more. I'll wait. See, that's the problem. And so when you somehow ascribe one thing, that's what's totally wrong with the church, then you the problem. So guess what? If you don't go to church, that's your deal. Fine. That means if you say there's something wrong with every single church in America, that's fine. Go to a white church, a Latino church. Go to a Catholic, a Baptist, Episcopalian. You know what? Don't even go. But I'm really sick and tired of people blaming the entire black church for every single thing wrong in the black community. Shut it. Because the reality is the black church has done a heck of a whole lot to save black folks and will always be there. And you know what I also know? A bunch of y'all who hate the black church, when your ass gets sick, or when your kids get sick, and when somebody needs some help, guess what y'all do? Y'all go find that holy roller at work and say, can you pray with me? See, you spend your time dogging the church, but you're quick to find somebody who go to church when you in need. That's all I got to say.
Amen.
All right, y'all, update on some racist white folks who lost their damn mind. Now, y'all know we deal with crazy-ass white women and crazy-ass white men. Remember the white woman in Maryland who called a black man the N-word because she didn't like the way he drove out of his parking spot? And his wife, Dawn Toast in Hightower, got out of the car to confront her with a camera rolling? Well, we now discover that the woman is a teacher in Prince George's County, and the Prince George's County investigated and released a statement saying they were disappointed and disturbed but could not fire her because she was a union employee. Well, that teacher decided to retire, which will take effect on December 1st. She will retire with her full benefits. So all y'all black teachers, there's an opening in Prince George's County. And speaking of openings, that's one also with the Hilton Resort Unit. You know why? White boy this weekend, y'all, actually posted on social media that he wanted to lynch Willie Taggart, the Florida State football coach, because he lost to Florida on Saturday and they finished 5-7 and didn't go to a bowl game. Yeah, straight up, y'all. Now pull the photo back up. Then he posted on there, no. I'm serious. I'll do it. His name is Tom Shand. Well, y'all, Hilton Grand Vacations today fired poor Tom as a result of his stupid post. So, black people, if y'all want to work for Hilton Grand Vacations, I suggest y'all get him a call because there's been at least one opening at Hilton Grand Vacations in Florida because Tom was stupid. Now he done lost his job. All right, y'all. Want to thank Michael, Lauren, and Eugene. Tomorrow we're going to deal with the racists in North Carolina Republican Party. That's right. They back at it. They call a special session to try to pass a voter ID bill. Y'all, they are worse than Mississippi and Alabama doing Jim Crow. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow show as well. And again, Mia Love, holla at a brother. I'm here. And Eugene, holla at I'm here. Eugene also sent me this here, this real quick. Apparently, Paul Manafort lied to the FBI and the special counsel and is now in breach of his plea agreement.
Right. Let's see how quick that he hits that jail cell. Is that going to do the sentence?
All I'm saying is, don't bend down, Paul. All right, y'all, you want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered, go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. We certainly would appreciate it. Your donations makes this possible. And so, again, we want you to join the fan club right now. Nobody else is bringing you these kind of stories. Guest. This is how we do it. And so we look forward to having you support us. Go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. All right, y'all, I got to go. I will see y'all tomorrow. Mississippi, vote! Holla!